right. Thank you guys. And thank you for spending some time with me. My name is Coach Michael Burt, and I spent a decade of my life as a head women's basketball coach. And you're going to say, what in the world could a former head women's basketball coach teach me about selling what we sell? And I'm going to come back to that story because it all will tie in here together. What you understand, what my real specialty is, which is activation of prey drive in a person. From 18 to 25, I studied one person. That person was named Dr. Stephen Covey. And Covey taught the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He taught principle-centered leadership. But what he really taught me during that time was how to activate the whole person. The knowledge, the skill, the desire, and the confidence of a person. And if you look at any top salesperson in America, they got those 4 traits. Matter of fact, I wrote a book on this. I think it was my, 9th or 10th book called Person of Interest. These are people who have high degrees of knowledge, high degrees of skill, high degrees of desire, high degrees of confidence. So I became the youngest head coach in the state of Tennessee. I know many of you may be in Texas. In Tennessee, women's basketball was really big because of a woman named Pat Summitt, the great Pat Summitt at the University of Tennessee. And I became the youngest head coach at the 2nd largest high school in Tennessee. So yes, I was coaching 14 to 18-year-old kids. And in 10 years, I turned it into an absolute national powerhouse. And that school would go on to win 7 of 9 championships, become the #1 team in the country. And I was constantly getting asked, what are you doing with those kids? Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you have kids? Raise your hand if you got kids. I got 2 kids. I got an 8-year-old and an 8-week-old. And when I look at my kids, I say the same thing. They have potential, right? And moms and dads would drop their daughters off to me at 14 years old, and they all said the same thing. Coach, my daughter's got potential. Every now and then they said issues or drama. And I have an 8-year-old daughter, and I certainly understand that. They would say, look, my daughter's got a lot of potential. She just needs something. And they would say confidence, bounce back, toughness, accountability, discipline. And so I would take those daughters and I would put them into a system, a structure. In today's world, I put people into a selling system. And I would say, thank you for bringing your daughter to me because we're going to manufacture greatness. We call our place the Greatness Factory. And we're going to take your daughter and we're going to she's got some knowledge, she's got some skill, she's got some desire, and she's got some confidence. And when she leaves me 4 years from today, she's going to have an abundance of knowledge, an abundance of skill, an abundance of desire, and an abundance of confidence. And I would take those kids and I would put them through my 4 years of boot camp with old Coach Burt. 4 years later, I'd pump out these little stone cold killing machines. And we would just whip everybody. And when I say whip everybody, I mean whip everybody, okay? I'm talking 30, 40 points. We would beat people. And so by the time I was 25 years old, 3 years into being a head coach, people were always asking me, what are you doing with those kids? Now, this is the part where you come into the equation. Because at 25 years old, I had no desire to coach adults. I had no desire to coach companies. Today, I'm with a $1 billion mortgage company that I was negotiating a $500,000 contract with today. And here's the deal. At 25 years old, they said, what are you doing with these kids? And I said, man, I ain't got time to explain it because I'm trying to win championships. I'm trying to enter-engineer the kids. So I'll just start writing books on what I'm doing. And I started writing the first of 17 books that are out in the market now. And when I wrote that first book, here's what happened. Businesses began to call me. One of them was a successful window company, outdoor company, put outdoor glass patios called American Home Design. About a $13 or $14 million company. And these companies began to call me and they said, will you come over and speak to and motivate our people? The word motivate means to move. The word inspire means to breathe life into. So I would say, look, I've just got a little bit of time and I'd come over there for a few minutes and speak to your people. And I'd go speak for 30 or 40 minutes. They'd buy my book and they would say, will you come back and coach our people? Because man, our people need some coaching and they need some motivation. And they need some drive. And I'd say, well, no, I'm trying to win championships. I ain't got time for this. Thank you for buying my book. And then I started speaking at Dell Computers and State Farm Insurance. And Dell would pay me more in an hour than I made in a whole month. And I was working 80 hours a week every week. I used to work 8 hours a day on Sunday. I'd get up and go to church on Sunday morning, go straight to my office and work for 8 to 10 hours. And I did that for a decade. Now, what do you think I learned during that decade? I learned how to activate the prey drive in a person, which we're going to talk about today. I learned how to take a concept and sell a concept. I learned how to build championship teams, which is why companies hire me today. I learned how to get more out of people. Okay. And so what I really became a specialist at was activating a drive in a person that caused them to want to go get more in life. I did this for my own wife, that I'd be happy to explain what she's doing now. I've done it for my employees. I've done it for some of the top companies in the world. So at 31 years old, after a decade of pushing as hard as I could, I had a full head of hair when I started, by the way. Okay. Now, Mr. Spence, me and you are on the same page. Now here's the deal. At 31 years old, I retired from athletic coaching to build a multi-million-dollar coaching company. So all I do all day, every day is coach people like you. What's our goal? Here's where we go. And I'm going to show you the whole system I coach people on. Number one, activation of prey drive. That's what we're going to focus on today. How do we activate the drive in you to want to go get it, to go get more, to want more, to get out of a complacent or static position, to not be satisfied with where you currently are in life? We're going to focus on that today. Okay. And every person, no matter what level you're operating at, has another gear. Okay. When we flip the switch in you, whatever you're doing right now will be small in comparison to what you're capable of doing. Okay. I've got Eric White on my team, who's one of my salespeople. He came to me, he had never sold anything in his life. He was an operations person for Ole Miss University. I hired him to be on my sales team. He had never made more than $72,000 in 18 years of being a college basketball coach. In his second year with me, I think he made, what did you make in your second year with me? You want to tell us?
150.
Made $150,000 in his second year with me. What happened to that dude? What happened is I activated his prey drive. That was in there. It was in him the whole time. It just hadn't been activated. His confidence is at an all-time high. He's lost 60 to 70 pounds in his weight. He's looking better. Even figured out how to get a good-looking wife. I don't even know how that happened, but it did happen. Okay, now here's the deal. He's got more confidence. He's got more swag. He's routinely, I've seen him sell $300,000 or $400,000 of coaching in a month for me. And when he came to me, he'd never picked up the phone. He'd never called a person. He'd never sold anything. Scared to death to call a person. We activated the prey drive in him. Now, the second thing we do is we work on how we explain our services. This is very important right now. How many of you are seeing high-end people still be frugal during this period? Raise your hand. Okay, raise your hand. I was telling Mr. Spence, my personal house is about a $1.4 million house. I've got a $1.3 million lodge, and I've got a $2 million house in Florida. Okay, those are three houses that I own. And here's what I noticed. When they built my house, I bought it as a spec house, and guess what they did? They put cheap windows in there. Emily, can you believe they put cheap windows in a $1 million house? It's ridiculous, because here's the deal. It makes them look bad, number one. Number two, it makes me not want to refer them to other people. And number three, it's just plain dumb. You don't want to go cheap on certain things when you have high-end stuff. So, but it's happening. Now, right now during our economy, you have to become world-class at explaining your value. Yes or no? See, in my sales pitch today, when I was asking for $500,000, I started by showing them what I had done for another company, another mortgage company, where they invested money in me. And I started with how much money they made off their investment in me, which the CEO said in a text that I showed them is roughly $4 to $5 million. And in perpetuity, they will continue to make 4 or 5 more million off the investment they made in me. That's where I started the sales pitch. Then the reason I started there is because I wanted to show the worth versus the cost. Did everybody understand that? There's a difference between what something costs and what something is worth. And if you can show the worth of something, then you can back in the cost, where the cost seems like nothing in comparison to the worth. So today I chose the approach of saying, this is what happened with this company. This is a text message from the CEO. This is him showing you how much they made off of their investment in me. Then when I come down at the very end of my sales presentation and I showed up how much I thought it would cost, which was $500,000, then it was like, oh, okay, because they drew a direct correlation. If we can make $5 million and invest $500,000, that's a good investment, right? Everybody would take that investment. So I started with what it was worth and then back-ended what it would cost, okay? And it's all because I know how to explain my services in a world-class way. And when you're selling anything high-end, you have to sell the worth versus the cost. Everybody see what I'm saying here? You can't get caught up. You got to be able to sell this with confidence. Third thing we focus on is the generation of leads. And I wrote a book on this called Legacy Selling, which is a selling system to generate organic leads. I know you guys get leads from different sources. So the purpose of any business is to create a customer. So there's a difference between a high value of your time and a low value of your time. A low value of your time is anything you do during the day that's got absolutely nothing to do with producing money. And most of the companies I'm coaching are wasting between 3 and 4 hours per day on low value activity. Even some of the best companies I coach are wasting between 3 and 4 hours. What are they doing? Talking about sports, talking about the weekend, talking about other employees, talking about what happened, talking about their kids. I try to train people to have cycles during the day of high value activity where there is nothing but new money generation. All we do during certain periods of the day is focus on new money, new money, new money, new money, new money. Now we can get some new money from the old money. We can get new money from referrals. We can get new money from strategic partners. We can get new money from past clients. We can get new money, but we can get new money in a lot of places. But we have to have periods of the day where we do nothing but focus on new money. Now, let me give an example. In the mortgage world, which is a world I coach in, right now they're making more money than they've ever made. Interest rates are at an all-time low. Some of my mortgage originators are doing 20 to 30 million a month. It's a great time to be in the mortgage business. Now, they're going to tell me that they are too busy to prospect because we're so busy servicing current customers. I'm going to tell them that there comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer. And when the rates jump up and you were too busy being fabulous, you're going to wish you prospected during those good times, because people doing 10 deals a month will be doing 1 deal a month. Does that make sense? Now, in the good old days when we didn't have COVID and any external factor, all those wealthy people spending money on them high-end windows, and you thought, oh, this will last forever, and you didn't prospect. Well, then there comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer. I never quit prospecting because I have a simple rule. It all goes to zero at midnight. Okay. It all goes to zero at midnight. Okay. And it don't matter what you did yesterday. And you know where I learned that? David Curry. I learned that as a basketball coach, because I could win on Tuesday night. We get a little bit lazy on Wednesday, not do what we're supposed to do, and get our butts kicked on Friday night. So when I started my business, I'm like, I don't care if we sold $1 million at coaching yesterday. It all went to zero at midnight. Today we come back in and we work our system. We prospect from 9 to 11:30. We stop and eat a little bit of lunch. Notice I didn't say we went down to the buffet bar and had a bunch of pasta and slowed us down. We had a little bit of lunch and we get back in there. We prospect again in the afternoon. We prospect every day for new money from 9 to 11:30. We break for lunch. Then we solve the world's problems in the afternoon. And in the afternoon, we're calling on current clients. In the morning's new money and afternoon's current clients, of which I'm trying to get referrals out of, by the way. So every day there's a system of lead generation that we're working every day. Boom. Every day, 9 to 11:30, break for lunch, regroup, right? 1:30 to 3:30 afternoon, engage with current clients, try to extract referrals, push people to things in the future. All right. Third piece we focus on, okay, outside of that, it's called $1 Million Follow-Up. And I wrote a book on this called $1 Million Follow-Up. Most sales statistics tell me that it takes 7 to 15 touches 80% of the time to convert a prospect to a buyer. How many times do you think most people in the sales world go on an interested person in today's world? How many times? Anybody want to guess? Trina, what about you? How many times do you think most people go in the sales world when they're trying to close on a person? Okay. I'm going to unmute you. Can you unmute yourself there, Trina, sorry.
Usually between 7 and 10 times.
Okay. Do you think, is that how many you go?
Depends on the client. Sometimes I'm there on the first or second visit, but then there's others that take a little longer time.
Okay, good. Here's a national statistic. Most statistics take 7 to 15 touches 80% of the time. Most people in today's world go 1 or 2 touches. I would tell you, you're not even in the ball game if you're going 1 or 2 touches, guys. You don't even have their full undivided attention. The word close, when you study the word close, like if you're trying to close somebody, it means to bring 2 things together. It means to bring something to an end. Most people try to sell something, they just let it go on and on and on and on, and they never bring it to a close. Okay, here's what I say to people. I can't help you till you commit, but once you commit, I'm not going to let you fail. Okay, I can't help you until you commit. Once you commit, we can really do some damage together because we're bringing 2 things together, your problem and my solution. Okay. So I teach a 7-touch follow-up before, during, and after the sale. Okay. Now let me tell you why. 98% of salespeople never follow up with the customer after they sell them something. Okay. Now let me go to Zach. Zach, why is it important to follow up with the person after the sale? I know we focus on new money in the morning, but old money in the afternoon. Why is that important? Zach Murtha? You can unmute yourself. Okay. David Curry, you got a haircut like mine. Means you're real smart. What do you think?
Sorry. What was the question again?
Question is, why should we engage with our customer after the sale?
Because it shows that you're still interested in them, not just their money, that you are interested in any issues that they may have run into during the project, anything that, any concerns that they want to talk to you about, or any future projects that they might be working on.
That's exactly right. Now, here's the point. 98% of salespeople never follow up after the sale. What they're missing is a stat I'm going to give you right now, which is 5.7 referrals. National statistic in most industries is between 4 and 6 referrals. I don't believe in customer service. I believe in customer engagement. Where you get a lot of referrals is engaging with, because this is what I told Mr. Spence, like gravitate toward like. Association breeds assimilation. High-end people hang out with other high-end people. Yes or no? So when you're trying to get referrals, you need to know who, all the high-end people, and you need to engage with them. So we believe in a lot of engagement with the customer after the customer experience. After they buy a product or service, we believe in a lot of engagement with those people. Now, I'm going to give you some examples of lost money. The home builder that built my house, I love my house, by the way, it just has cheap windows in it. Now, here's the deal. He's never called me one time. He's never tried to engage with me. Never even really said thank you for buying that expensive house. How many more people do you think I could have sent him if he would have engaged with me after he sold me the house? Right? How many? Okay, so we put in a real nice swimming pool, right? And how many swimming pools do you think I could have got the pool guy if he had engaged with me after he put the pool in? Okay, the house in Florida I told you about, $2 million. The real estate agent made $83,000 of commission on the purchase of that house. Ask me how many times she's followed up with me personally. 0. How many referrals do you think I would send her? How many friends do you think I have that want houses down in Florida? How many friends do you think I could refer her? At $83,000 commission, you'd think she could at least follow up with me one time. Emily, would you follow up with me if you made $83,000 off one deal? Yes or no? Of course you would. Now, see how dumb this sounds, folks? But this is the dumb mistake salespeople make every day. They don't follow up and they don't engage after the sale. Then they can't figure out why they don't have a pipeline of business. Okay. Now, in the last 30 days, we've produced roughly 3,000 leads. That's more leads than I can even handle. I can't even handle all the leads we produce. Okay. And if I turn the marketing up even more, we produce 10,000 leads a quarter. Here's the deal. We got so many people to call. There's never a shortage of people to call. There is no shortage of money. There is no shortage of opportunity. There is a shortage of courage. There's a shortage of effort. There's a shortage of curiosity. There's a shortage of, so I believe in 5.7 referrals. And ultimately, we also teach people how to become people of interest. Okay. That's the system I coach salespeople to. We're probably losing money in one of those areas. Activation of prey drive means, and why would your prey drive need to be activated? Because you've grown static, complacent, bored, stuck, in a rut. Okay. Now let me bring that back to a question. How many of you said you had kids again? Raise your hand if you have kids. All right. How many of you sent your kids off to school this morning? And the last thing you said when you put them in the car is, hey, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to school and I want you to gradually settle to a place of mediocrity today at school. Anybody send their kids off this morning and say that? Right. We look at our kids and we go, man, you have so much potential. Go get it. Right. So I used to tell those moms and dads, I would say, you're telling me your daughter has potential. Is that what you're telling me? And they say, yes, sir. She just needs confidence, structure, accountability, focus. And I would say, well, I got a tough question to ask you. You may not like it, but I got to ask you, is your daughter watching you reach your potential? And man, they get real quiet then. It's, oh, whew, coach, I didn't know you're going to be coaching me. Is it not hypocritical for me to tell my daughter she's got potential if she don't see her daddy reaching his? See, I want my kids to see me pushing, striving, dreaming, digging in, man. I want my daughter to say, man, my daddy got up every day and went and got it. Every day he showed me how to push hard. He didn't tell me, he showed me. So prey drive is an animalistic instinct in a person to see something with the eyes or in the mind and have the persistence and intensity to go get it. Animals have a prey drive. How many of you have a dog, like a sweet little dog? Okay, sweet little dog. And Carrie, what about your sweet little dog? Would that dog hurt anybody? Unmute yourself, Carrie.
Well, I mean, he's a cattle dog, so he has his days.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Prey drive is in that animal. Have you ever seen that animal come alive to where he really got upset or frustrated about something?
Yeah.
And he wanted to go get something, yes or no?
Yep.
Okay, that's prey drive. It is an instinctual ability of an animal to stalk, capture, and kill prey. Everybody see that? If you look up a definition of prey drive, that's what prey drive is. That sound like a good salesperson, yes or no? I see it, I observe it, I go get it. You see, I'm here today making a pitch to this company because the other day I saw something in my mind. Here's how I could help them. I scheduled a meeting with the CEO. I came down. I made my presentation. I made my pitch. I ain't finished. We didn't sign the deal today. We just got buy-in today. Now I got to do what? $1 million follow-up until I get the deal across the finish line. But what I did is I have an instinct about me. When I see something, opportunity, I don't think about it. I go do it. I ask. All they can do is say no. All a person can do is say, no, I don't want your business. All they can say is, no, I don't want the windows. All they can say is, no, I'm not interested. But how many people don't ask because they're afraid of some type of response? Well, that animal has got that prey drive in it, okay? And so I'm sitting here thinking about prey drive, and I hear a person mention it. And I go, you know what? That's what I've been doing for 28 years, man. I've been activating the prey drive in people. And I started studying all the motivational models. And here's what I figured out. There's 3 parts to every motivational model. Number 1, prey drive has to be activated. That's what we're trying to do today with you. Number 2, once it's activated, there has to be a persistence to it. That means a long obedience. Boom, every day. I work the muscle every day. I make the calls every day. There's a persistence to it. And 3, there has to be an intensity to it. Just like that animal, there's an intensity to the pursuit, right? If you study an animal, the capturing the prey is not even the biggest reward to the animal. Like if you have hunting dogs, capturing the prey ain't the reward. What's the reward? The ability to pursue the prey, right or wrong. If you take a dog hunting, just the fact that it knows it can go hunt is when it gets most excited, right? See, as Eric's ability to get up every day and go provide for his family, pursue his potential, make sales calls, that should activate his prey drive. Capturing something's like, okay, I caught it. So what? Let's go get something else. So what I got to do is I got to figure out what is Eric's prey drive activator, okay? So I'm going to give you 5 activators of prey drive. Because once this is on, you ain't going to need anybody external to motivate you. You're going to come with batteries included. Okay? You're going to show up every single day and you're going to go get it, folks. Okay? Now, some of you are going to be wanting me to do this, activate this in your spouse. I love when people come to me and say, can you activate the prey drive in my husband? Of course I can, right? Because here's the deal. It's got to be activated and reactivated every day. Number 1 activator, prey drive. These are in no specific orders, competition. If I help this culture that I'm in here today, and I hope to, one of the number 1 things I'm going to put in is I'm going to put in some friendly competition. We're going to look at everybody's numbers every week. We're going to look at everybody's numbers every day. And I want to create a little competition. How many of you, your prey drive is activated when there's competition? Yeah, you need a game to win. You need a fight to pursue. During this COVID period, what if I told you, this is going to sound crazy, but one of the best things that could happen to some of the business owners in America is COVID happened to them. You say, well, could that happen? Number 1, it got them out of a complacent state, made them wake up, made them say what we used to do won't work anymore. Now there's a fight. Now there's a game to win. Now there's a competition, right? It activated prey drive in me that I hadn't even seen. I'm 44 years old, guys. I've tried more strategies during this period. I've done 10 times more videos. I've done 10 times more events. I've engaged with our customers at 10 times higher rate. What it did is activate a competition in me. It's like, oh, okay, now I got a game to play. Now I got a game to win. I needed that competition because you can get bored. You can get stuck. You can get complacent. You can get in a rut. right? My granddad said, if you eat banana pudding every day for 10 years, you eventually get tired of eating it. Okay. And I live in Tennessee. We got good banana pudding. So my point to you is, number one, I need a fight to be in. Some of you don't have a fight to be in. You're trying to get out there and just make it through the day, trying to survive, trying to make a sale. Like once you taste significance, success is never going to satisfy you. Okay. I'm interested in significance now, not success. I've had success. Okay. It's not all it's cracked up to be. I'm looking for big things, change something, create something, move something, impact people. Okay. Second thing, activator prey drive, is fear of loss. Now, this is actually my number one activator of my prey drive, is fear of loss. I didn't know my father growing up. I was raised by a single mother. She had me when she was 16. My dad was 18. My dad never paid any attention to me. He never told me he loved me. He never came to one baseball game. He never came to a basketball game. Like, we had zero relationship. In some eyes, that would be some form of rejection. Okay. I don't believe in rejection today, but that's probably how I took it. Well, because of that, I grew up with a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. I wanted to be known. I wanted to become somebody. I wanted to be a person of interest. I wanted to say, you know what? That's all right, Dad. If you didn't know me, other people are going to know who I am. I'm going to be somebody in the world, right? Now, you may say, well, I hate that happened to you. I would tell you it's the best thing that ever happened to me, because I probably wouldn't be who I am today if my dad would have been the man I wanted him to be. Like, now we have a good relationship, but we didn't have a good relationship for 25 or 30 years, guys. Now, here's my point to you. Anytime I sense a little bit of fear of rejection, anytime I sense that somebody thinks I'm not good enough, anytime I sense that, oh, you don't think I'm as good as that other coach is, man, it activates a drive in me like you can't imagine, right? And I use that fear of loss to my advantage. How many of y'all think big time people use fear as to their advantage? Yes or no? Okay. I use it. I use negative emotion, fear, disappointment, anxiety, stress. Like, now in my life, when I have these things, it activates a drive in me. Like, all right, here we go. Now it's on. Now let's play at a higher level. Now I'll show you. Okay. Look at The Last Dance. See, you may think prey drive is inside of you. Like Carrie may say to me, if I ask her, where is your prey drive, Carrie? She may go, it's in here. What if I told you, from coaching people for 28 years, that almost in every circumstance, to activate what is inside of you, something external has to happen to you? What if I told you that? Somebody's got to slight you. There's got to be a game to win. There's got to be a fear of losing something. It's external. What I mean is, there's a stimulus. And when you have that stimulus, it flips a switch inside of you. Okay, look at Michael Jordan. When you watch The Last Dance, when did he play his best? After they lost, when somebody said he wasn't good enough, when he compared him to somebody. And if he didn't have a game, he would create a game, right? There was something almost external, like we lost the first game. Oh, I'll come back and show you. Oh, I'm sick. Do you know that when Jordan had the flu, the odds in Vegas actually went up that the Bulls would win? Why? Because he's such a competitor. He wanted to show people, when I'm sick, I'll outplay everybody. That's it. That right? You see what I'm saying? So my point is, many times we need a person to say to you, oh, Eric, you'll never make $200,000. Not in your best year. I said to Eric White once, he was having a bad day. He got distracted. And I walked over to his desk and I said, I just got one question for you, man. And he said, yeah, what is it, coach? And I said, you told me you wanted to make a couple $100,000 and you wanted to support your wife, your 3 kids, you know, your new family that you have. Is that what you told me? He said, oh, yeah. And I said, well, I just got one question for you. How are you going to justify to your wife when you go home tonight that you did everything you could to win today? Like, how are you going to justify that? And then I just turned around and walked straight back to my desk. Now, Eric, after that one comment, tell them what you did the next month. You're unmuted.
Yeah, I sold probably, it was around $400,000 or $500,000 worth of coaching, which was a record high.
Now, here's what I know. I know how to activate a person's prey drive. All I had to do was say one comment to him. How are you going to justify this to your wife, man? Your new wife, your kids. Like, you're telling me you're doing everything you can to produce for them? Like, I'm watching you get distracted, worry about all this other stuff, worry about this. There ain't no way you can go home tonight and tell your family you did everything you did. And I just went back to my desk. The next month, dude sold $400,000 worth of coaching. What do you think happened? Activated his prey drive. Okay. Fear of loss is one of the greatest motivators ever. Everybody see that? You need to learn how to use fear. Okay. Third activator prey drive is environment. And this is what we're trying to create here. We're trying to create an environment of expectation. I tell people I'm looking for Navy SEALs, not baby SEAls. Okay. I'm not looking for people that whine, complain, pout, feel sorry for themselves. I'm looking for stone cold killing machines. I'm looking for people that wake up and want to do something big, not small. And my mama taught me, we don't whine, we don't complain, and we don't make excuses. We show up, we grow up, and we deliver. Imagine being in an environment where your friends are actually pushing you. Right? Like, I got one really good friend, and when I'm being a lousy husband, he tells me. He's like, man, what's wrong with you? You got a beautiful wife. You got 2 great kids. You got an incredible life. What are you pouting about? Like, you need to suck it up, buttercup. Okay, here's the deal. Environment is so critical. How many of y'all been in a lazy, low prey drive environment before? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you've been in an environment where everybody was playing down, a lot of complacency. Now, imagine a time when you were in an environment where everybody was playing up, right? And imagine playing with Jordan every day. Imagine, they said when rookies would show up, they'd show up 15 minutes early for practice, and Jordan would say, where you been, man? And he said, what do you mean I'm early? And he said, no. Early is 4 hours early. You don't show up 15 minutes early. Now, I'm good buddies with Jordan's trainer. That was his trainer, Tim Grover. He wrote the book Relentless. And I said, tell me one thing about Jordan nobody knew. And he said Jordan had 2 scorecards, the way the Bulls measured him and the way he measured himself. And if he didn't hit his own personal scorecard, he would call me at 2:30 in the morning, and he'd want to go to the gym and work on one move for 3 or 4 hours. He said that's how tough that dude was. He had his own personal scorecard. What happened when you played on Jordan's team is you played up. Why? Environment can be an activator of prey drive. Everybody agree? Okay. Now, when I go to Houston, Texas, I typically go once a month. I've been going once a month for the last couple of years, coaching a lot of people there. I go to City Center sometimes, and I stay at City Center. And when you get in that City Center area, lights, right? You're thinking bigger. Things are happening. There's environment. Now, you stick yourself over at the Motel 6 over there where nothing's happening. There's no environment. There's no energy. There's no what? Okay, I can say that because I stayed at the Motel 6. And I know there's a big difference between staying at the Motel 6 and staying over at City Center. The environment's different. I try to create a high prey drive environment that activates the prey drive in my people. When they show up every day, let's go. Let's do something big. Let's sell something. Let's help somebody. There's expectation. There's energy. Okay. So third activator prey drive is environment. Fourth activator prey drive, exposure. When you get exposed to something bigger, you think bigger. Okay. How many of you, when you get exposed to big time people doing big things in the world, it motivates you? How many? That's a big activator of yours. Okay. Now, when I'm around big time people, I'm on tour right now with a woman named Sharon Lecter and a guy named Tim Story. Sharon Lecter wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki. She sold 42 million copies of that book. She wrote the first 10 Kiyosaki books. She took, when Kiyosaki met her, he had a board game on a piece of paper. His net worth was less than $250,000. And that woman was a lot of the brand behind growing him into an international star. And let me tell you something. She's tough. She's hardcore. She's smart. And when you're exposed to big time people, they know things you don't know. It's like, oh, this is how I went from 0 to 100 million. This is how I went from here to here. This is how I took this brand from here to here. Here's how I took Kiyosaki from nobody to somebody. When you get around big time people, you're exposed to things. Here's the problem. Average American reads less than 1 book a year. My wife did drugs every day from 21 to 24 years old. She'd never been to a workshop. She never read a personal growth book. She had dreams, but she didn't even know what they were. She came from a little small town in Tennessee. And at 30 years old, Verizon, where she worked selling cell phones, sent her to one of my workshops. At that workshop, she fell in love with her potential. First time she ever read a personal growth book was my book, This Ain't No Practice Life. I tell people she fell in love with her potential, and I fell in love with her. And she came back to me and she said, man, I got dreams. And nobody's ever told me I had potential. And nobody's ever taught me what to do. And I've never been exposed to these things. So I said, we started dating, and I said, we're going to go to a conference in Mexico. She said, oh, great. I'm going to go down there and drink margaritas and hang out by the pool. And I said, no, ma'am. You are going to go to the conference with me, and you're going to be around big time people. So we were around Grant Cardone and his wife, Bradley, his wife, Matt Monero, his wife. These are all people doing big things in the world. And I took my girlfriend to the conference. She'd never been to a conference like that. And she sat in there for 3 hours, and she listened and she watched, and she came to me. She said, oh, I understand. Now I understand. I see the dynamics between these people. I want to do bigger things, Michael. I want to start my own catering company. I want to do big things in the world. I'm tired of playing small. I want to go pro. And now my wife is writing her own books. She leads our health division of our company. Companies pay her to coach the women. That's the same girl who did drugs every day from 21 to 24, folks. No direction, no purpose, no guidance, no dreams. What happened to her? Her prey drive was activated. Her prey drive was activated, okay? Now, final piece of prey drive, and then I'm going to move to one more thing, is embarrassment. I don't use embarrassment to coach people. I don't believe in using embarrassment. But here's how I would use embarrassment. I believe that it's not us versus a number, it's us versus our potential. I believe I'm actually playing very small in comparison to my potential, guys. The people I compete against every day, I don't think they're any better than me. I don't think they have the pedigree I have. What they figured out how to do is take something from small to big. And I go home at night going, man, playing so small in comparison to that dude that's doing 50 million. I'm playing small. In comparison to that woman who sold 42 million copies, I'm playing small. In comparison to the guy that created City Center, right? I'm playing small. You got to go home sometimes and go, man, I'm so much better than what I'm playing right now. So the question becomes, why would I get complacent? If you study the motivational theories, they all tell you the same things. We move toward things we want. When we get hungry, we move toward food. When we get thirsty, we move toward water. When we want companionship, we move toward people. What happens, though, when all of our wants are met? What happens when all of our needs are met? Got a nice house. We got a nice family. We got a nice job. We make good money. What happens is now we don't have any wants. Satisfied needs never motivate people. Only unsatisfied needs. So what happens is we got to get around somebody who's doing this. And we say, man, we're playing so small. We got to get around something that activates a drive in us to want more, to push harder. Now, I'm a faith-based person, and I've studied contentment every way you can study it. I'm not telling you not to be grateful for what you have. I'm not telling you not to be content with the life you have. But when you break it down, you were not hardwired to maintain what you have. There is no personal satisfaction in just holding on to what you got. Okay, none. Like anybody go to work today and say, you know what, I just want to maintain what I got today. Just want to hold on to what I got. No, there's no satisfaction in holding on. I lost 30 pounds from November of last year to now. Now I'm in the gym. I've taken a stake in an F45 gym. Now I want to get leaner and more defined and more confident. Okay, I don't just want to hold on and maintain the weight that I've got now. Now I've got a new goal. So a lot of people in today's world saying, if we could just hold on to what we got, if we could just hold on to the business we have, if we could just hold on. To me, that's playing not to lose, and playing not to lose guarantees losing. And that's coming from a championship coach, folks. Anytime I played not to lose, I always lost. Okay, so those are activators of prey drive. Now, the only other thing I would tell you is once we get the prey drive activated in you, and you say, well, how does a coach play into this? Imagine if I moved in with you every day. And every time you were in low value activity, I said, hey, quit doing that. Hey, do you want to play at a higher level or not? Hey, let's go. Hey, let's do something big. What a good coach should do for you is just like a coach on a sports team. How many of you had a great coach in school? Raise your hand. Did you practice one day? Did you just practice for a few hours, or did you practice every day? Did the coach say, hey, just go out there and just maintain what we got, folks? No, training is not something you did one time. The military doesn't give a person a machine gun and say, hey, read a book and watch a video. Good luck to you. They train every day. How many of you think world-class salespeople train every day? Every day. World-class people train every day. I train my people every day. They have videos they watch every day with me. They have trainings they watch every day with me. We role play every day. We work on how to close every day. We work every day because I believe world-class people train every day. They don't go to a workshop 7 years ago and say, oh, all of our people are trained. Training is not something you did. It's something you do. Okay. It's something you do every day to sharpen the saw, to sharpen the skill, to get better. And I don't believe money buys you freedom. I believe skills buys you freedom. The stronger your skills are, the more money you're going to make. Okay. Now let's close it out with this. I want to finish it up with this because this is what I told Mr. Spence. I believe there's a huge difference between a high value of your time and a low value of your time. The purpose of your business is simple: to produce a new customer. Okay. Now, why are businesses going out of business right now? It's not because they don't have money. It's because they don't have customers. Okay. Now, I want to look at two different stores. They said that 250 Victoria's Secrets was closing down. And I asked my wife, I said, have they ever called you one time to thank you for going in there? Nope. Have they ever tried to re-engage you to come back? Nope. Have they ever thanked you for anything? Nope. Has there been any effort at all for them to get you back in their store? She said, no. She said, now you take this other store, Sonoma. She said, they've texted me, called me, followed up with me, ran specials, tried to engage with me. She said, man, they hit me in every which way you can imagine to get me back in the store. She said, the stores that are going out of business have never done one of those things. Here's what they did. They got fat and happy and comfortable, and they thought customers would always be coming in, and they won't. So I believe a minimum of 2 hours a day, you should be doing nothing but focused on new money. During that period of time, you should not be doing anything else. No servicing, no problem solving, no scheduling. You should be doing nothing but trying to produce new money. This is very hard. Sounds so simple, but so many people don't do it, guys. I believe you should be going 7 touches in your follow-up, and I believe you should be following up like crazy after you sell somebody something. So I have a simple rule. We meet at 8:30. My team trains 6 segments in my online academy or in a video series that I send them every day to work the muscle. We meet at 8:30, and I coach them again for 30 minutes, mainly to activate their prey drive. From 9 to 11:30, I don't want them talking to each other, looking at each other, flirting with each other, goofing off with each other. I want them doing nothing but focusing on new money. Not for me, by the way, for them. Eric can't provide for his family if he comes to work, sits around and goofs off all day. Okay? He can't hit his goals. So he needs dedicated time of focused prospecting on a selling system. Break and eat some lunch, come back in the afternoon and engage with his past clients. Okay? Eric sold over, how many people you sold in the last couple of years?
I've sold easily 1,000
Okay.
plus. Yeah.
So if he ever comes in and tells me, Coach, I don't have anybody to call, what do you think I'm going to say? Hey, try calling 1,000 people you already sold something to. Sell them something else. Talk to them. Engage with them. Love on them. Care about them. I guarantee you they know other people. So would you rather have $1 billion or 1 billion friends? Okay. Now, for those of you in Houston, Texas, there's 6 million people in Houston, Texas. Okay. There's no shortage of people to call. There's no shortage of wealthy people to call. There's no shortage of people to call on. Okay. I probably know at least, I'm coaching 2 people in Houston that manage $6 billion of money. One of them 74 years old. Okay. $6 billion. I'm coaching a doctor there in Houston, Texas. I'm coaching a $22 million lawn care company in Houston, Texas. These people buy nice houses with nice windows. You just got to call them and talk to them and engage with them, follow up with them. So I would much rather be in Houston than even where I live, because you got 6 times the opportunity than I do, right? To call on people. So there's no shortage of people. There's a shortage of creativity. And when you commit to something, the creativity follows. So I want you to commit today, guys. Commit to going pro. Commit to being a professional. Commit to leaving your amateur desires behind. Recommit to your dreams and goals you have in your life, man. That's something most people have given up during this period. It's sad. I've given up on all my hopes and dreams because I had a bad couple of months. Come on, folks. We don't give up on our dreams because we have a bad couple of months. We find new ways to produce revenue. And I guarantee you can do that, man. I was coaching a guy today, and I drove through Nashville today, and he used to run a car parking business, and he dominated Nashville. So you go to a restaurant in Nashville, his company parked your cars. And he was successful, and it's a tough gig, but he was successful. And he texted me as I drove through Nashville, said, Coach, I just saw you come through downtown. And he said, man, I had to pivot. Now I'm renting pontoon boats. Okay. And I said, good for you, man. That's what winners do. If you can't park cars, figure out another way to make money. The dude didn't quit. He just found another way to make money. So, and he was trying to sell me to ride in one of them pontoon boats. I said, man, you've been well coached, because now you're thinking of new ways to produce revenue. And hopefully today was a day that we can help you do that. You guys have any questions for me?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
We all go through, busy times at work. We get overloaded, and you come out of that, you kind of just want to sit back and get complacent for a little bit, and kind of regroup. And if say you do it today or even 2 days, some people longer, you come out of that and your motivation's gone. You're kind of, what do you do to enact your prey drive when you come out of one of those long stretches of busy work and try to get back in it?
All right, I got a couple answers for that. I believe in retreating to attack, meaning sometimes you need to change the scenery. You need to step back and retreat. Typically, all I need is a day off. All right, sometimes I need a day off where my mind's not focused on it. On my days off, though, I study big-time people. Okay, so what I do is I'll study a biography. I'll watch video when somebody's done something big. Because I was working on a big deal this week, I studied top negotiators, over the weekend. Like, how do you negotiate with a billionaire? Like, I studied that all weekend. And what it did is it activated that drive in me. Because like you, I'll go through periods where I just push so hard, man, I don't want to talk to anybody, look at anybody. I just need a break. I just need a day. But on the break, in a relaxed setting, I study big time people. That's typically a trend I do every Saturday. Now, every day, the way I reactivate my prey drive every day is because I'm a holistic person. I do something for the body, mind, heart, and spirit before 8 a.m. So for me, I get up and read something faith-based. I listen to a sermon every morning. Then I work out at F45, which is a very intense workout for 45 minutes, functional fitness 45. Then I see my family. Then I listen to something on business on my way in. And that's a routine I have every day to reactivate my drive. Okay. Because just like you, I get tired, I get fatigued, and I need to gas it back up again. So every day I have a routine I go through to reactivate my drive. Today I woke up kind of flat. Thought my workout was kind of flat, but man, I'm trying to negotiate this huge deal. And so I'm going through my system. I'm like, okay, check 1, let's do this. Okay, that didn't work. Let's go to check 2. Okay, let's go to check 3. And then I watched a video, maybe 7 or 8 minutes when I was getting ready. Hey, fixing my hair, getting ready for the meeting. And it's like, boom, I'm ready. I'm ready, man. Let's go do this. And I walked into that meeting feeling like $1 million, confident, made a great pitch, made a great ask. And I feel good about it. I feel good about it. So that's what I would tell you I do every day to reactivate mine. But I lose mine just like you lose yours. So don't think just because I'm in the motivation business.
Hey, Michael.
Don't think I wake up every day with batteries on, okay? Thank you.
Do you need some windows for that house that has really bad windows?
I don't know. You'd have to ask my wife. She makes all the decisions on the house. She told me the other day, I just found this out the other day. I'm like, what's going on with that window up there? She said, you ain't going to believe this. Put cheap windows in her house. I said, come on, man. Who puts cheap windows in a house like this? It's ridiculous. You ought to be calling that builder right there. I don't even know if he's still in business, but that'd be a good prospect. All right, I got time for one more question, folks, and I got to jump on another call. Anybody? Just unmute yourself. Okay, there you go. Let me unmute you.
My wonderful comments earlier, but you'd mentioned 2 hours focusing on new money in the morning, but then you mentioned focusing on, would you say 2 hours focusing on dormant customers in the afternoon, or what would you proportionally do, the new focus versus the old?
Yeah, we spend in the morning is primarily focused on nothing but new money. Okay. And that is new money through the selling system we're generating. Could be leads, we could call on current clients during that period, but a lot of times it's just leads we've generated that we're working, strategic partners we're trying to put together something with. Then in the afternoons, we engage with our current book of business, which is thousands of customers. Okay. So Eric may call 25, 30, 40. He's typically making about 80 calls a day. And he may make 40 in the morning on new money, and he may make 40 in the afternoon. Many times he doesn't get them, by the way. So he does voice text, video text. We create a number of follow-ups that he can use, special videos he can use. And in the afternoon, we're trying to get people excited, push them to something, love on them, engage with them. So in the afternoon is current clients, disengaged clients. I do have one person that does nothing but try to engage with our client base, onboarding, make sure they're up and going correctly. And that's her entire job, because I believe in engagement.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Guys, here's what I would tell you. I hope today's not the last time I see you. I believe coaching is not something you did one time. If today was good for you, I have no doubt if I got my hands on you and coached you for a period of time that you would produce more money. Okay. That's what I do all day, every day with a coach, a good coach. There's a lot of bozo coaches in the world. Okay. There's 700,000 people in the United States that call themselves a coach. They've never won anything. They've never run a business. They've never produced any revenue. And I would tell you, and the average mean, just so you know, of those coaches, average income is $47,000. You do not want to take business advice from somebody making $47,000 running a business. Trust me. Okay. And my strategist told me that I have a strategist that runs numbers. He said, Coach, you're in the top 0.001% of money earners in the coaching profession. And I said, that's because I practice what I preach. I don't just tell people what to do. I do it. I'm calling people. I'm selling people. I'm following up with people. And a lot of people just don't do that. So be careful where you get your counsel from. Get it from successful people and humble people. And, I'd be honored to do some more stuff with you. So I hope today was a good kickoff, and we can come back and do some more stuff with each other. Okay. And here's the deal. It won't cost you $500,000. Okay. So we'll start small somewhere in there and get started. Okay.
Fantastic. Michael, well done. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure hearing from you and getting coached up by you.
Thank you, guys. Let's have a big month. New money, new opportunity.